Well, the police in Florida, the state police and the Hillsborough County Sheriff's Office, actually I guess it was just the Hillsborough County Sheriff's Office last week, did a sting operation where they went online and said that they were an underage girl and, offering sex for money. And 123 men showed up. I mean, this is just like right out of, what is that show with the TV? It's not 60 Minutes. What's it called? Dateline? Dateline, I think it is, yeah, with, what's his name? You know, where he would catch people. In fact, I think they stopped doing it because one of the guys they caught committed suicide or something, but whatever. It's just right out of that. And, and they included a school teacher, a nurse at a substance abuse clinic, a grief counselor, a church guy, a basketball coach. I mean, yeah, it's people, sex is often the downfall of human beings. Let's just put it that way. It's a primal urge, and when it gets expressed in ways that are not legal or appropriate, then boom, the boom comes down. But what's interesting about this, what was particularly interesting about the response to this, was the Hillsborough County Sheriff's Office down in Florida is like bragging about this. Hey, look at this. We got 123 predators. And, truth be told, it's probably something to brag about. I'm not a big fan of entrapment in general, but, if what we're doing is trying to prevent men specifically, from even thinking about going out and trying to pay underage kids for sex, then it's probably a good thing. I mean, like I said, we could have a debate about that, but I'm not opposed to these kinds of stings. What I thought was interesting was not what they did or how they publicized it. What I thought was interesting was the response to it. I mean, they posted this stuff on social media, and the response they got was, what, no drag queens? I mean, another person, quick, someone ban the dictionary. It has the words gay and transgender in it. I think it's absolutely fascinating how, Florida is now one of 6 states that have passed anti-drag laws. Make it a crime for a man to dress as a woman in public and or do a performance as a woman. And Montana, Mississippi both explicitly restrict drag performances. Arkansas, Florida, North Dakota, and Texas all passed, quote, adult performance restrictions that could be used to target drag. I believe all of them are on hold right now because of court challenges. But the fact of the matter is, Drag Queen Story Hour is apparently a hell of a lot safer than sending your kids to church or to school. I mean, one of these people was a teacher. It's just, it seems to me like our priorities are all messed up. I get it. What Republicans are doing is what bullies always do. You find the weakest people in society. And you go after them. You find the people who are not just weak politically and often financially, the two often go together, but are weak in terms of their networks, their social networks. In other words, there are not a lot of people who know them. There was a time in America when it was routine to trash gay people, gay men specifically. Network television in the 50s, 60s, 70s, even the 80s. If you wanted if a character on a TV show or in a movie wanted to make a slur about another male character, they would imply that they were gay. And everybody would laugh, and that was, and because most people didn't know anybody who was gay, because most gay people were in the closet, because coming out could be a life-altering and life-threatening experience. But then came the 80s, with the AIDS movement and ACT UP. Well, actually, even the 70s, I would say, the late 60s and throughout the 70s, the gay liberation movement. And by the 90s, it was okay to be out. And by the 21st century, it was really okay to be out. And in fact, then the kind of second wave happened and trans people started coming out. But there's still a very small minority. Most people don't know a trans person. I have one in my family. I have a very good friend who's trans. But I think I'm the exception. I think most people don't know somebody who's trans. And as a consequence of that, you know, people just kind of shrug their shoulders when they hear about these attacks on trans people. But trans people are people just like all the rest of us. Excuse me. And I would argue in many ways more vulnerable than probably most of us, because they're, you know, they're struggling with this having been born in the wrong body thing, this what's called gender dysphoria. But this is, from the Republican Party's point of view, a group that apparently has little to no empathy at all for our fellow human beings. This is just opportunity. Hey, let's pick on these people. So, you know, I'm kind of pleased when frankly, when I see somebody pushing back on it. I think that's a good thing.